Today on Toy Habits Reviews, we're taking a detailed look at the Masterverse's Jealous Beauty and Hordak's right-hand woman and comparing her to her MOTU Classics counterpart on the examination table. And before we get into the review, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you can be alerted to the latest reviews, news, and episodes when they drop. Hey everyone, welcome back to Toy Habits, and we are coming at you from our examination room. I'm Michael, and with me is my collector in crime, Larry, and today we're taking a detailed look at the Masters of the Universe Masterverse Princess of Power Catra and her MOTU Classics counterpart on the examination table. And let's get started off by looking at the box, and it's got that 40th anniversary logo and that amazing pop branding on it.
Yeah, once again, it's cool to see. I'm glad glad to see the different branding on the packages. I think that's kind of a cool way to kind of differentiate each different subline. And I'm glad that that they're sticking with the window boxes.
Yeah.
Like see classified moving to just the standard box, and I'm glad they're keeping these as a window box for now, at least.
Yeah.
Hopefully nothing changes.
Yeah, hopefully not. And taking a look at the side and the back of the box art, the Catra looks stunning on the back of the box, and it features her wielding her cat face shield and holding her green jeweled staff up in the air with kind of like a beautiful purple sunset in that ethereal background.
Yeah, it's funny. I really like the art on these boxes, but it feels like it's kind of being wasted somehow. Like just on the back of the box and on the side, you don't. I don't know. You somehow like you're kind of missing all that detail in not having anything on the front of the packaging.
Yeah, that's what makes the front of the package so boring. But on the side of the package, we have Catra with her claws ready to strike.
Yeah, it's awesome. I kind of wish that they would try to incorporate that side panel art into like maybe a strip along the front or something.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that it might be a way to be able to get that art kind of front and center where you get to enjoy it a little more and appreciate it.
Yeah, it's kind of like what the Classified series does, because that art starts on the front and kind of wraps around the side too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So let's take a closer look at the figure in the light box. All right, and we usually have the figure out of the box by now, but we've actually left her in to make one special note. Her soft goods cape is tied down with these plastic pieces that they use to tie clothing down with. So if you're not careful, just don't force her out and rip her open when you get her, because I know you're going to be excited, but make sure to cut these carefully. And I have these little pair of scissors here, and I think these are actually nail clipper scissors, so you can kind of get in and not make any holes in her cape.
Yeah, I still I wish there was a better way they could do this. I know they're trying to keep everything kind of tied down and stuff, and keep from shifting around and maybe getting damaged. But to me, you're putting a small hole in it already just by fastening it that way, and then also chancing that it gets cut when you're trying to remove those things because they are so small.
Yeah, and actually with mine, I didn't take this out yet, but yeah, you can already see there's already a little hole because it's already come out now. So that's a problem.
Yeah, it kind of sucks because it starts off almost with a little spot of damage on it.
Do not like that. But let's get her out of the package and we can take a closer look at the figure. All right, now that Catra is out of the box, you can get a closer look at her and her head sculpt, which features a mask that sits on top of her head so you can see her face.
Yeah, I think they did a good job with the mask. It looks like you would expect it to look. Got good coloring and stuff. And I think it definitely has the correct look to it.
Yeah, definitely. I really love her facial expression here. She kind of looks, a little bit mean. I think that jealous beauty really shines through in here, and I think they did a really good job with the coloring of her face and just her facial structure in general.
Yeah, I agree. I think when we saw the images of She-Ra's face, the production figure of She-Ra's face, it came out really well too. So I think they're doing a great job on the female characters for Masterverse. These two Princess of Power figures so far are great.
Yeah, definitely. And the mask, actually, you can slide it down, and kind of cover her head, which is kind of hard to do. So I'm just going to take it off and just kind of push it down right here. So it kind of gives her a different look.
Yeah, it does. I think it's a cool display option, but I'm not sure if well, I know that I don't agree with the design choice for how they accomplished
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that is the, wait for it. Here's the reveal on this one. The huge cutout that they made
It's
just so you can slide her mask up and down.
I would have done without that altogether. I really don't like the idea of not being able to display her without the mask. I mean,
I don't
it
either.
would bother me every time looking at her on the
Oh,
shelf.
it will.
Even if I had her head positioned just right, because you'd never be able to walk to the
Right.
side because I always see that spot in her head.
I know. And it actually, and if you're familiar with the Baroness's retro cardback figure from the G.I. Joe Classified series, it actually makes her little cutout for her glasses look really good.
You know what? I think actually though, for me, I think I would paint kind of the inside part of that. I would paint that
Yeah.
black because I think it would be less noticeable that way. Like I think that it's good that they kept like the inside of it isn't painted, but I think that back part of of her head inside there, I think that should be black, and
Yeah.
then you wouldn't maybe notice it quite as
Yeah,
much.
I think so. That's a great idea, and it's a really really poor design decision. I know the classics one had a compression fit on it, so I think they could have gone that route and maybe achieved the same goal there. Yeah, but the rest of her outfit, there's really not a lot to it. You have your classic horde symbol on her chest, and it's kind of nice because they did set it off in a different shade of red, and if you actually look closely you can actually see Hordak's face right in the middle of that symbol there.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that. I hadn't noticed that at all in any of the kind of production shots that we've had before. So yeah, it's cool. It's a nice little detail. Just I think seeing stuff like that, the different, the little bit different paint color and the details like that really help. Kind of make it so where it's not such a boring outfit, I guess.
Yeah. And yeah, there's also a lion on her belt, which actually got washed out in the production images. So it's kind of cool to have these little surprises when you open up the package.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's cool and it's fun to be able to notice these things and to kind of see all the little details.
Yeah. And she does have painted nails, and they're actually kind of a bluish color. And I'm not sure if I can get it to focus on here. I kind of feel like, the Joe team on the live streams there.
Yeah,
But oh, here we go.
yeah, that's good there. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's nice detail, and also there's some fits and finishes on the bracers, and they can also match the boots down here. But one thing, if you back her up, the coloring that they've done to set her pieces off here, it's the same coloring that they put on her boots. I'd actually rather have that darker color on her boots just to kind of give her more of a uniform look.
Yeah, I agree because it's almost like it doesn't look quite right because the rest of it you've got that symbol on kind of the darker. Yeah, it looks a little off. I agree that darker color should have been on the boots as
Yeah,
well.
I mean, speaking of off, I'm just gonna put her mask back on because I can't
Yes.
stand looking at that slit in her head. But
Yeah.
actually, you can move it around. You can kind of see where the damage is actually. So I actually cut this piece out and was very careful. And just because they had clipped it in with that plastic
Yep.
piece, it actually just made a hole. So get ready for all of your soft goods capes to have holes in them.
Yeah, that just sucks. I mean, I know they're trying to do something good once again, but I think that's a poor choice. I mean, I'd rather have a chance of it being kind of folded funny or something else.
Yeah.
There's got to be a better way to do it.
Yeah, me too. And let's take a closer look at her weapons pack out. So Catra comes with a removable soft goods cape, a removable mask, a silver shield, and a cat face, or that has a cat face on it, and an extra set of hands and a silver scepter with that green jewel. And usually we leave the hands on the display tray, but actually it's kind of cool to see. They just given some nail polish detail to the hands here, which I think is nice.
Yeah, it is, and they look clean.
Yeah.
'Cause sometimes you get those little details like that, and they don't come out that great.
Yeah.
So they do look.
And her shield is an oversized shield, and it does have that cat face in it, and it has a clear jewel. And I think that's kind of cool because it's not kind of overwhelming or distracting for the shield.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's got its own look. It's really unique, and the jewel kind of helps it. Gives a little bit of added detail, so it looks cool.
Yeah, it definitely does. And something that I didn't actually expect to come pack with her is this scepter. And, it's been a while since I've watched the She-Ra cartoon, but nonetheless, it's a cool piece that kind of differentiates it from other releases.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it has a cool look to it, and gives her something else as far as a display option. So
Yeah. And her soft goods cape does come off. I'm not going to pop her head off. Well, actually, maybe I can just pop her head off and show you. But yeah, you can take her head off and you can remove her cape and you can just kind of pop her head back on. And you can just have her either caped or without a cape, but you can't have her without a mask.
yeah, yeah, that's always going to be there.
Yeah, so just looking at the collar detail, they actually have some stitching around here, so I guess that's how they've stitched it on. So it's just kind of interesting the way that they've put the cape on the plastic piece here.
Yeah, it is. Then it doesn't seem like it's a problem. Like I haven't seen. We've had 3 or 4 figures now with capes, and no issues so far that I've seen. Have you?
No, not at all. I mean, you pretty much leave your figures on the shelf, and so the capes are the capes. Aside from these sucky holes that they put in the cape. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, but I do like that they're including these.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool kind of feels a little bit more like like an extra kind of thing that they're doing. It's a little bit finer. I don't know. Yeah, like an improvement that they're making somehow. I think it's better than what we've had before. So
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of what we had before, let's compare Catra to her MOTU Classics counterpart. All right, so here we have the Masterverse Catra and her MOTU Classics version, and you can see they are quite similar, but there's actually some differences here as well.
yeah, it's funny, looking at them side by side, how much, how many different design choice differences there are. You just to me, I hadn't noticed them at all really before, but there are quite a few.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. The MOTU Classics version just looks like an older version of Catra, just in age. Like this one actually looks like her daughter, so they could be, a few years apart there.
I hadn't noticed it before at all, just as far as facial detail and stuff like that. But yeah, she definitely looks younger. I really like the sculpt of the Masterverse figure better.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are a lot of things better about it. I think I prefer the cape as far as the collar piece of the Classics cape more. I kind of like that it flares up. It's a little more bigger, I guess. But yeah, I think there are things that I like about both of them. They're definitely both good figures. But I think that I definitely like the kind of the new buck that they use for Masterverse a lot better.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And just from the facial features themselves, like they're less defined than the classics version, and it kind of has more of an animated feel to it in the Masterverse version.
Yeah, because you're not. I mean, you can't really capture great realism here, anyways. I mean, at this scale, you're not going to be able to get a ton of detail and stuff. So I think it looks good with kind of the way they're going.
Yeah, and the hair sculpts are different. So the Masterverse version is less wild, and they kind of pretty much follow the same recipe as classics. They just kind of put her hair more as a clump together in the Masterverse version.
It did, and I think it's crazy how long it is in that classics
Yeah.
figure. You don't think about how long her hair was for that figure, but I think it looks more natural in the newer Masterverse figure.
Yeah, definitely. And all right, let's take one last look at Catra and give you our final thoughts and ratings. All right, and as for ratings, I would give this figure a 5.5 out of 7. Again, I thought they'd captured her classic look really well, and I like that they used different shade of red on her outfit just to make those certain parts stand out. And I am dinging them 1 full point for that large slit in her head, which I'm not going to show again just because it's just way too ugly.
Yeah, I think for me, I think I would give it a 5. I think it's teetering on 5.5 for me. I think maybe 5.25 is probably closer, but yeah, I'll say a 5 just because I think I've got to go a full point off for the decision there with the mask and the head sculpt. And I think those holes in the cape is kind of a
It's a
big issue,
bummer.
and stuff like the maybe the kind of the way they went with the boots, having the brighter color
Yeah.
red, I think is a little off. So just a few little things like that. Overall, still a really good figure, but just a few little problems.
Yes. And that wraps up our review of the Masterverse Princess of Power Catra. So let us know what you think about the Jealous Beauty in the comments below. I'm Michael.
And I'm
And
Larry.
thanks for dropping into the Toy Habits examination room.